detain me. Ma'am, I've been a officer my whole life, you bitch. I'll spit on you, I'll give you fucking killed. Relax. You pussy. I have no name.
We've had several disturbing cases of grown adults acting like children and breaking the law, but this will be the first time we get to cover the case of a woman throwing a fit and threatening to kidnap a flight attendant, all because of a Louis Vuitton bag. Yep, as ridiculous as that sounds, it's true. Today, we'll talk about how this woman decided to turn an airport upside down just because her Louis Vuitton bag had a little scratch. Threats were made and boundaries were crossed just because of a designer bag.
I don't know why she got kicked off. This is my friend, so I'm going with her.
I'm a retired Army veteran. I know how to conduct myself. I know how to conduct myself.
On March 21st, 2023, the Frontier Terminal at Miami International Airport had just boarded all the passengers for a flight headed to Philadelphia when something quite unusual happened. One of the passengers got into a heated verbal altercation with another passenger over the scratching of her Louis Vuitton bag in one of the overhead bins. The scratch wasn't intentional, and it was an accident that had occurred, but the woman in question refused to see it that way and decided to take matters into her own hands and do things the ugly way.
Take off your purse.
I'm not comfortable. Talaya!
Relax.
No, you're making me uncomfortable.
Relax.
You're making me uncomfortable. Why am I going to jail? I didn't say nothing. I didn't hit nobody.
In a turn of events, she refused to just let things go. She decided to cause a scene and act violent. As a result of this unacceptable behavior, she got several requests from the crew for her to leave the plane, but, just as expected from a woman who decided to overreact and cause a scene over an ordinary bag, she refused to listen to the crew and did not leave. Instead, she decided to threaten one of the flight attendants with the possibility of having her kidnapped and subjected to abuse. Now, of course, this kind of brow-raising behavior and disregard for the law is not tolerated, and that is why the police had to step in.
Because you're making me uncomfortable.
Calm down.
No.
You're under arrest.
For what?
We'll let you know right now. Come on.
Some officers stepped in and told her to leave the plane, but she refused yet again. She firmly stated that she wasn't ready to leave the plane. Her refusal to leave forced other passengers out of the plane because her attitude had become unbearable.
Can you relax?
I'm telling you, I'm fine.
You're not.
You're not one acting
Look at
crazy.
my arm. Look at my arm.
Because you're acting crazy.
No, I came off the plane by myself. You didn't come and get me off the plane.
Lady, we're...
All these unfolded and got out of hand as a result of this woman's desire to throw a fit over something so trivial and then act like she was the one being wronged. In another turn of events, the officers tried to get her out of the plane, but then she did something quite unexpected. This woman decided to use the oldest trick in the book to wiggle her way out of the mess she had caused for herself. What better way to do that than to tell the police officers she was an Army veteran? Yes, she chose that as the right time to tell them she was an Army veteran and deserved to be treated with respect.
What's wrong with you?
Because you're making me uncomfortable.
Calm down.
No.
You're under arrest.
For what?
We'll let you know right now. Come on. We're gonna get the other.
You're choking me. Talaya! Okay. Can I be unchoked? Can I be not
Nobody's choking you. Relax.
Moving forward, the officers asked her to take out her purse for proper investigation, but she also refused to comply this time. She decided to play the same cards she had been playing, which was basically to act like some sort of entitled thug. This woman practically created such a huge scene that the airport was in chaos, literally. Instead of complying and doing exactly what she was told, she kept asking why she had to take out her purse. It was a clear lack of respect and disregard for the officers that were trying their best to get through to her. Things got heated as time went on. Eventually, when they tried to turn her around and handcuff her, she tried to resist and claimed to feel uncomfortable.
Because you're acting crazy.
No, I came off the plane by myself. You didn't come and get me off the plane.
Lady, we already told you you were under arrest.
No, you did not. They told me I had to get off the plane.
Right now.
Excuse me. They told me I had to board. They didn't tell me I had to. Can you let go of me like this?
Just because of a Louis Vuitton bag, she had a lot of audacity to question the officer's choice of getting her arrested. Even though she was told that she was under arrest, she kept resisting and spitting all sorts of incoherent words at the officers. This woman went as far as trying to run away from the officers at one point. She kept on saying they were making her uncomfortable. Things got so heated that she started accusing the officers of choking her. The officers denied choking her, but she didn't listen or try to calm down. Instead, she tried to run away.
Excuse me, sir.
Calm down.
I am a sergeant, retired from the Army.
You're not acting like someone who's been
You're not either. You're not either.
You're under
If you were
arrest.
acting like it,
Calm down.
Excuse me.
I don't want to talk to you. Calm down.
She made several references to the fact that she was a sergeant, and when the officers told her she wasn't acting like a sergeant, she got defensive. In total, there were 2 women acting like child adults at the airport. Both of them were handcuffed, but none of them seemed to look remorseful or even try to take responsibility for their actions. They all just kept blaming each other and trying to lie their way out of the situation they got themselves in.
Like you see, I'm not drunk. I'm completely sober. What's wrong? He just told me she's kicked off. I don't know why I'm being arrested. I'm sober.
Yes, you are.
Brie, and I tried to calm her down.
I see
I calmed her
stars.
down. I'm not screaming.
I'm not screaming.
I'm sober.
In another turn of events, the lady who had caused a scene at the airport because of her Louis Vuitton's bag getting scratched asked a female officer to come hold her instead because she was uncomfortable being held by a male police officer.
A man can hold me, but not a man. Look at how. No, I won't. I am not high. Look, I'm not high. Look at how he's holding me. He's trying to still detain me. Ma'am, I've been an officer my whole life. You bitch, I'll spit on you.
When her request wasn't granted immediately, she decided to use that as an opportunity to call the male officer all sorts of degrading names. She even went as far as threatening to sit on him. At some point, when she was asked her name, she refused to answer and claimed to have no name. She also told the officer to figure out her name himself.
You pussy. I have no name.
Relax. Look, okay, look.
Figure it out.
Listen,
Ma'am,
you don't want to talk to them. Don't worry about it. Talk to me, okay?
ma'am, can I speak to you? Can you come?
Now this woman wasn't just resisting arrest, she was also trying her possible best to draw out the questions she was being asked. The female officer tried her best to talk some sense into the Redding woman, but none of it worked. This woman went as far as threatening to smack one of the officers just because he didn't listen to her and release her just like she had requested. She also claimed that the officers had no reason to kick her off because no one in the plane had a problem with her.
We know what you understand. We got no charges.
You're gonna get more charges.
Everybody on the plane has no issue with us.
If you ask him, you will.
Can you listen to me?
Listen, you ain't talking.
Can I be let go of? I'm very uncomfortable.
According to her, the people seated next to her in the plane were also surprised that she was getting kicked out, and they asked why that was happening. So she decided to use that as a reference of her innocence to the officers. But unfortunately for her, she wasn't able to back her claims with facts because she was still being destructive and uncooperative. She also tried to use the veteran Army card again and kept on telling the officers stories about her life in the Army.
Please tell me. And that's who's saying because I was so how would you act? It isn't just fighting, but it's just like you acting like this. When I fight for your freedom, you don't fight for my freedom like I fight for your freedom. I've shot, I've had die right in front of me. Let's be real, I've seen die.
Things eventually got more heated, and at one point, the lady kept on referencing the fact that her bags were still on the plane. She also kept on saying the bags that were on the plane were 2 Louis Vuitton bags that were important to her. She was handcuffed and getting interrogated, but all she could think about or try to defend was her bags were still on the plane. She didn't make an effort to try to fix up her attitude and make things easier for the officers that were attending to her. Instead, both her and her friend, who seemed to engage in her toxic behavior, kept on interjecting and saying things that were either false or had nothing to do with the actual case at hand. At some point, she decided to switch things up and get a little bit more emotional. Before, she was trying to use the veteran card. But when she realized that none of that worked for her, she decided to talk about her best friend and how she needed to be home because her best friend was dead.
I don't want that. I want to go home. I've been trying to go home for 2 days. My best friend died in front of my hotel. What the f is wrong with y'all?
She started sobbing in between her speech and kept on telling the officers that she needed to be home. She told the officers that her best friend had been shot in front of a hotel, so she'd been trying to get back home since then. At that point, it wasn't really clear if she was being honest or if she was just trying to get attention. When the officers expressed that they were sorry for her loss, she told them that they are not really sorry and couldn't understand.
No, get off me.
We're gonna come on. Don't make it harder than what it has to be. Come on.
You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get hurt.
Just when the officers thought the drama was over and the woman couldn't pull off any more immature cards, she decided to do something stupid yet again. When the officers tried to move her somewhere else, she refused to move. She got on the floor and started dragging her feet. It's absolutely safe to say that she chose to act like a child instead of actually cooperating with the officers. The officers had to drag her by her hands and feet in order to move her from her place on the floor. Even when they got to the stairs, she refused to stand up or move on her own accord. She even got violent and started kicking the body cam with her feet.
Get one foot and I'm gonna get the other.
She chose to scream when they were dragging her away. How tough it was because she refused to cooperate. She also threatened to sue the officers because she felt mishandled and also because she had been raped before.
We're not going to be going. If we're not together, we're not. My hands are on and I will definitely sue you. Not you, but I will definitely sue you. Miami-Dade police report.
Things eventually got heated when she claimed to be bleeding and needed help. This was after she had been taken to a police station to go through investigation and formalities. When asked to leave the car, she refused to leave because, according to her, she needed to pee and wanted a new tampon to do that, but she wasn't interested in asking for the help of the cops. The suspect was eventually charged with 4 felonies of battery on a police officer, 1 felony charge of resisting an officer with violence, 3 misdemeanor counts of assault on a police officer, a misdemeanor trespassing charge, and a lifetime ban from Frontier. As a result of her actions, she is no longer welcome at Frontier. That automatically means she would have to find another airport with her luxurious bags. Do you think she deserved the charges?